Hey YouTubers, what's up? This is Sean Techno back again. Hey, Sam, I don't know what your channel name is, but Sam, who is also visually impaired, his channel has to do something with technology. Thank you for this idea. I actually, what I'm even talking about is there was a guy who did a demonstration of things that he used as a visually impaired person. That's what I'm even talking about today, and that is what today's video is going to be all about. I know that kind of sounded weird. I know it kind of started off weird, but that's why I started it off the way I did. Because I'd like to do the same demonstration from a blindness perspective. Not visually impaired, but blindness perspective. For starters, I use a Mac. Mac is totally accessible. Linux is totally accessible. Windows is accessible if you purchase or download a free screen reader. But Mac comes right out of the box. And I believe Linux does too. I'm not sure about that, but I know Mac comes right out of the box. So let me let you hear a
voiceover unmuted. Preview image.
Sample of what it sounds like.
Shutter button. Photo. Empty list. No selection. One row.
Okay. We will shut that off now.
You are currently on a list.
Actually, no, we won't. So you saw. So I just used the keyboard. Now I'll flick to the left.
Shutter button.
So I'm using the mouse right now.
Photo. Empty list. No selection.
I'll turn the speech off.
Voiceover muted.
So you might think, okay, what just happened there? Well, I use the keyboard to navigate around by holding down certain keys, and then I also flicked with the mouse, or with the trackpad, and I can do different gestures on the trackpad. So that's actually pretty cool that I'm able to use the trackpad and the keys. Now, one thing that I used, and is dead unfortunately right now, is a Braille note. I'll really quick dash over here and get the Braille note. Oh, not it. The Braille note, I have an MPower. For those of you who are curious, a Braille note MPower. I used this when I was in high school. I don't use it anymore. Why? Because of this lovely little iOS device that I can do so much more. And my Mac and my computer. Android, I do have Android. Don't worry, you guys. I don't use it because its accessibility is not where iOS is. In terms of Braille, this is what the Braille note looks like. The little dots you can see right here, if I'm pointing correctly, I'll point it up so you can see the dots. Those pop up. If this thing were actually working, I need to charge it. But if they were working, the dots pop up and you can see what you need to see by reading with your fingers. I'll show you an actual Braille display, and you guys can look at it for yourself. Okay, so what an actual Braille display looks like without the note-taking capabilities that the Braille note had is this. Okay, I got the product executive case, but this is a Focus 40 Blue. I will turn it this way so you guys can see this if it stops curving on itself. Alright, you know how I said that pins pop up? Well, let's see what happens if I do this. Okay, pins just popped up, and now they'll pop back down. Oops, sorry. Let's pop the pins back up. Okay, now we'll pop them back down. Alright, so the pins basically take the shape of any Braille symbol, and they make it so I, as a blind person, can read it. And what it was telling me, it was a Focus 40 Blue, and, or I'm sorry, it was telling me it was a, actually yes, it was saying Focus 40 BT, and it was giving the percentage of the charge, which I believe is about 55%. Now that is pretty cool. And I use that with via Bluetooth with my Mac sometimes. I'll use it with JAWS, and I'll use it with iOS. So that is what I use if I want to get serious typing done. But what about typing on the keyboard? Or what about just like using a touchscreen? You're saying, dude, how can you see to use a touchscreen? Well, I'll show you. So first, I'll put this poor cord back because I just zipped it up. All right, there. Okay, so I have the iPhone here, and if I flick the
Health and Fitness folder, 3 apps. Lifestyle folder, 8 apps. Old Time Radio folder, 2 apps.
I like Old Time Radio. Hold on, I'm sorry. Hold on, let's.
So Old Time Radio folder, 2 apps. Double tap to open.
All right, I'll double tap.
Opening Old Time Radio folder. Old Time Radio. Heading. Text field.
You'll notice that it's black. That's called the screen curtain. But if I do this...
Screen curtain off.
It's probably very dim, but you can see it. I turned my brightness to 0, or maybe you can see it, but if I...
OTR stream. Double tap to open.
Well, let's
Closing
get
Old Time Radio folder. Old Time Radio folder. 2 apps. Social folder. 26 apps.
Ooh, I like...
Double tap to open.
Yeah, I like the social. Let's go in there.
Opening social folder. Social. Heading. Text field.
So
Closing
this
social
is...
folder. Social folder. Speech off. Speech on. Speech off. Speech on. Speech off.
Dang it.
Speech on.
I'm not doing a command correctly. Hang on.
Speech off. Speech on. Screen curtain on.
There. Gosh, it only took me a few times. There we go. And now it's black.
2:09 p.m.
Now I can...
Airplane. Do not log orientate. YouTube. Previous track. Brightness. 0%.
Okay, the brightness is 0. But I just turned the screen curtain on and off, and you can turn speech on and off if you're using a Braille display, which is something you cannot do on Android, and I'm very, very disappointed in that, because I wish you could do that. That'd be nice. So you saw that I use a Braille display. You saw that I used a Braille note in high school, but the Braille display is the main key to what I use as far as assistive technology, because I can type in Braille so fast. I'm what they jokingly call a confirmed Braillester. I've known Braille since the age of 5 or 6. So, you know, Android's Braille support isn't there yet. To be honest, it's not there yet. And anybody who's listening from Google Accessibility, I hope you hear this. Android's accessibility with Braille is not there yet. And I know I've said that like 3 times now, but that's so important to me that if you guys meaning Google, update your Braille support, I will buy an Android phone. If you guys update TalkBack support, I will buy an Android phone. If it gets to be so good that there are tons of accessible apps within the Google Play Store, just like there are on iOS. For example, I have 33 audio games right now. There are more that I don't have out there in the App Store, iOS App Store. How many are there for Android? About 2 to 3. I have an Android tablet, folks. I know this stuff. Okay? I mean, not just audio games, but apps in general. Recording. I'm a podcaster, for goodness sake. I've podcasted for 5 to 6 years. Okay? I have my own podcast, and you can find it on the iBlink Radio app, available in the Google Play Store. You know, under podcasts, they're available on Mac or iOS. You know, I have a Google Nexus 7. I'm keeping up with this stuff. This isn't just rumors. I don't like Android's Braille support, and that's how important Braille is to me. You know, to not want a device because of Braille has to mean that Braille is pretty important to you, and that's the case for me. I do use a Lenovo Yoga tablet. Going back to things that I use, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's basically a tablet or a computer where the screen flips over, and I do use the touch screen sometimes, but mostly just the keyboard, and the computer will talk, and just like you heard on the Mac, it'll use a different voice, but it talks, and I can Bluetooth my Braille display to my Mac or my PC, and I can get typing done a lot faster. I do own an Apple keyboard. I do own an Apple TV. I can browse Netflix. The Apple TV talks. If you guys own an Apple TV, press down the back button, and then you'll see, like, press and hold it, and till you see something, till you see a accessibility menu. Tap voiceover, and you'll have you'll get to experience how I use the Apple TV. Other than that, I have an iPad. I use that for demo purposes because I do free tech support calls, and for visually impaired people. And other than that, those are the accessibility or the technologies that I use within my daily life. Thank you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please comment, but if you say like bad man bad, tell me what was bad about it in a nice way. I don't want any rude comments, please, because I'm trying my best. Yes, I'm blind. Yes, I'm filming. You know, it's like, ooh, scary, blind person filming. But photography is really interesting to me, and that's just one of my extra hobbies. You know, so all right, I'll see you guys later. And for now, thank you for listening to this video.
Voiceover unmuted.
Now that you just heard voiceover,
Shutter button.